What's up, YouTube? It's T-Monster bringing you guys a Madden 19 offensive tip going against 5-2. First off, we got to understand the key to 5-2. Why is it so good to get pressure? Because you are sending 7. We're going to go technically 8 here. The reason behind the technicality is every single one of these guys, all front 7 of these guys, are going to be blitzing. The problem that you're going to be encountering is the safety. They're going to be manually using the safety and bringing him down into the box, standing between either number 52, 94, or number 95 and 50, depending on what side they're going to be sending it from. One of the safeties they'll be on. And they're going to be blitzing themselves. They're going to be manually rushing, but they're not actually going to come after you. That's when it's going to force and engage 8 and really just cause havoc and utter hell upon your offensive line. So that's how we're going to sort of say it's going to be a engage 8. Now, you guys could be thinking you're crazy for what I'm about to say and you shouldn't do this, but believe me, this is how it's going to work. Dreeny would go into the Y-off trio week. He was in the New Orleans Saints playbook. He'd either go Y-off trio week or gun tight, offset, tight end. One of those two formations. You can have success in regular gun bunch, although in the Saints playbook, the gun bunch isn't that great compared to the Patriots or the Bucks. So if you're going to the Patriots or Bucks, gun bunch will work. The key to this is we're not looking to block the blitz. This blitz is almost near impossible to block. Instead, we're going to be looking for quick passes. Now, a lot of people might say, okay, if they're going into a fire zone 2, right, a simple cover 2 shell, you could split the safeties over the top, and especially if they're using that safety, you could easily expose that. On the other hand, Dreeny, what he was doing, he was going with quick route combos, especially when he was going into the Y-off trio week. Now, if I can find it, this is something Skimba loves, and Dreeny would go to it as well, is Saints out. So this is a very popular play. Although I personally would rather go into gun tight. I am just more comfortable with that. And a play that I like to use against this is I avoid stick. Stick is way too easy to guard. Literally, you just shade underneath and put your safeties into yellow zones, and it's boxed. We're going to avoid stick. We're going to be looking for something like Saints in, where we're really just flooding the middle of the field because the user is going to be occupied so heavily on what to guard that it's going to be near impossible to guard about 4 or 5 different routes. Now, that's one option. Of course, you could always go mesh spot. You could always go Saints HB wheel. But let's just go. I'm going to go my favorite play. This is my absolute favorite play, mesh spot. So, for fire zone, what they're going to do is they're literally sending the house. It's really nothing unique. In order to generate any sort of pressure out of a 5-2 formation, I don't know why it's showing that, but in order to generate any sort of pressure out of 5-2, you have to send 7. And oftentimes what he would do, some series frequently do this until he gets uncomfortable, is he'd bring his user down here, his safety that he's on, and he would blitz him included. So this is kind of what it's looking like. For coverage, this all depends on what kind of formation you're in. If Dreeny was in a trips formation, oftentimes the side with a lone receiver, such as Y-off trio or weak or even gun bunch, that corner is going to be in a deep zone to prevent a one-play touchdown. That was their primary concern, and that is why they're always doing that, to prevent a touchdown. Now, of course, they can always make adjustments, shade underneath. They can put hard blocks out there. They can make cross-man their safeties. But the catch with this is you send as many routes out as possible. We are not looking to block this blitz. If you're blocking the blitz, we'll get into that later in the video, but you're going to cause yourself some serious issues. So again, right here, he's doing nothing but pretty much sending quote-unquote asterisk 8. He's only sending asterisk 8 here. Not really. Sending 7. So he's going to go ahead and manually blitz himself. So this is kind of our play design. One thing you can do is you can force the user to respect this streak. So instead, if you notice the user's coming down, it's a dead giveaway. As soon as you see him coming down to the box where he's controlling, you don't need any special chemistries. You can force him to respect. What did I just do? You can force him to respect the streak down the middle. Otherwise, he's giving a touchdown. So if you had somebody like Tyreek Hill, your quickest wide receiver in that position, to get downfield, and you can touch pass it, you can lob it. But you're going to have to make him respect that. Otherwise, you're going to be looking for a bunch of routes over the middle of the field. You want to just really occupy it and force them to choose. So again, we're going to go ahead and snap the ball. We're going to go ahead and set it up. Something like this. He might put this guy into middle third or something similar to this effect. So we're going to go ahead, snap the ball. I'm going to go ahead, try to manually control the safety as good as I can. It's going to be tough, but you can see right there, you've got your flats open, and what you're creating on that side as well with that dual drag, we actually just got a touchdown out of that. What you're creating with that drag and that wheel route is a little mini screen to that side of the field. That's also something very popular that was ran throughout the Madden Bowl, is having a wheel route and a drag route running to the same side to create a little screen on that side of the field. Now, ideally, they're going to adjust and they're going to force you to adjust as well. So perhaps they notice you're doing the drags all the time. So they might actually, instead of putting all these corners into outside thirds or outside halves or whatever it may be, they may just leave it like this and do something like this and blitz everybody and blitz their user, bring their user down, something like this. It's going to be changing all the time. So again, the key here is you have to force them to respect their part of the field. Otherwise, they're giving up a touchdown. So this is something that you could probably do. You probably get away with it. Again, we're not looking to block this blitz. This blitz is almost, I would say, near impossible. I'd say it is impossible to pick up because it's in engage 8. I'll go over a little bit later into this video how you can block it, why it's a terrible idea to block it although. But we're looking to flood one side of the field. So let's just say, all right, they are now hard flatting. The drags are no longer an option. We're going to go ahead, snap the ball. I'm going to try to control this safety as good. Actually, you know, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just put him into like a hook curl. Just imagine the safety is blitzing. If they blitz the safety, there's going to be 2, sometimes 3 coming in. You guys are just going to have to roll with it here. So we're going to go ahead, snap the ball, looking for the corner route. Unfortunately, we just can't get it out fast enough, but you see that corner route is breaking late. Now, if they do decide to follow that corner route, you're going to have a drag right underneath. Again, because you're sending 7 at you. It's extremely easy to expose in the middle of the field because that is a really tender spot. And a little tip right here, for any kind of blitz, it's all about recognizing where it's coming from and throwing the ball where the blitz is coming from, because the defenders are focused on coming after you, not playing the ball. That's particularly important when you're going against somebody that likes to run the 5-2 defense. So right here, he'll stand in the gap. This is an automatic giveaway. All right, he's doing that, so we might send this guy on a streak. We might motion this guy, take Ginn Jr. over, field motion over. Maybe even put him on a little out route. Maybe put him on a zig, put him on a flat. Personally, if they're sending a 5-2 blitz at you, I don't like having a zig route because a zig route takes too long to develop. Instead, I like to have a little flat route out there instead. So again, this is maybe a kind of adjustment. They might have something like this. They might have this guy on an inside third, this guy on a deep half, this guy on a deep half, maybe even in a cloud flat, or something to that effect. Now, if you notice having a cloud flat, that's when I like to put zigs. It allows the cloud flat to get pulled back a little bit further to guard the corner out. Again, it's all based off what your opponents are doing. The key to attacking 5-2 is sending routes. You can't sit and max protect. So we're going to go ahead, snap the ball, be wide open, take it 4 or 5 yards every single time. It is really, really easy to do. Now, we're going to go into gun bunch. I'm going to show you guys how you can block it, although it's a very bit, don't do this. Just please save your own rage and do not do this. You can block this blitz by going into gun bunch. This is any gun bunch, it'll work. I'm just going to go, let's just go into Y curl. I'm going to explain why this is a terrible idea. So first off, we're going to have to go to max protect. So I'm going to go ahead and baseline real fast, make it a little bit easier to see it all. So we're going to send 7 here. Technically, again, 8, because the user is manually blitzing himself, although he's dropping into coverage. Do not get fooled by that. So we're going to go max protect. Here's something I cannot remember to save my life what his name was, but what he would do is he's motioning over this wide receiver. He would then motion him back. So if I had somebody else, I'd control the safety, but he'd motion him back, and then he would block it like that. But you notice the big issue with that, first off, we don't even manage to pick it up, and that's blocking 8. We're not picking it up. The biggest issue, we're going to go and do instant replay by max protecting 8, is look how many defenders you have going against how many people there are in coverage. And heck, you don't even successfully defend it. Now, given it looks like that was my fault, our safety kind of glitches out our offensive lineman. But you notice there's literally nobody open out on the field. Corner out boxed. wheel route, boxed. There's nobody open whatsoever. Now, of course, they're going to have their user dropping back. They're not going to most often not manually blitz him, but instead of dropping him into coverage. Now, this is the biggest problem I can see right here is by doing a max protect. You're sending 3 routes. Even if you were to just do a max protect, you're sending 3 routes against 4 people in coverage. He could easily double team your number 1 wide receiver, and you'd just be completely shut down. So this is why I was so passionate about saying do not max protect, because you're going to get sacked anyways, and you're not going to be able to block it. And on top of that, you're going against 2 or 3 routes against 4 zones or 4 players that are manned up, whatever they may be doing on defense. This is why it is so important to have as many routes on the field as possible. Now, a play that I might go into for gun bunch, I don't know if the Saints have this. I think they do, is corner strike. If they don't, Patriots and Buccaneers playbook have it as well. Let's see. They have mesh. It's not really as good as corner strike. But if you guys let's just go into, where was it? Z spot and go. That's going to be close enough. If you guys have the Bucks playbook or the Patriots offensive playbook, I suggest going to corner strike. It's a really effective play to go against, especially against fire zone 2. Now this will work. It's not exactly, the corner out's not as deep as corner strike, so that's why really why I don't like it. On top of that, if they do have cloud flats, one thing I have noticed is these cloud flats for some reason will play table routes really well. Like oftentimes you're going to get baited by a CPU if they have cloud flat going against table route. I don't know why. So instead, what you could do here is you could just put him on a little swing route. You can also put him on a little out route, but table route, get rid of. It just doesn't seem to work all too well unless they double shade over the top to really make him drop back. Otherwise, yeah, that's kind of what we're going to be looking for. Again, sending as many routes on the field as possible. We need the route combos. So right here, this may be something that they may do. They might stand in the middle of the field. Again, it's going to be tough, but he might drop back into coverage, do something like that. You can see B's open, corner routes open, flat route on both sides of the field are open. They cannot guard, let's see, how many is that? 5. They can't guard 5 routes with just 4 people in coverage. It is plain impossible. That's a simple numbers game, and you've got to force their hand every single time. Now, a good user might be able to cover 2 different routes, but somebody, I guarantee you, will get open, even if it is late. So again, we're going to set this up. We're just going to do simple baseline. Send the house. The key to 5-2 is sending 7 every single time. Otherwise, you will not generate pressure ever. So we're going to go ahead and send it. So this is just a very simple route combo. If you had to elite or deep route runner, maybe you could put Ted Ginn Jr. on a post route or a deep cross route, depending on what chemistry you have on them. Again, Meredith, I do not like him on a table route. The clop route plays out way too good. So we're going to do something like this, just give you an idea. Maybe even put A on a zig if I know they have table flats. If they have clop flats out there, I might be able to put my tight end on a zig route. Again, just let that corner route be to pull back that clop flat a little bit deeper as well. So we're going to go ahead, snap the ball, throw the pass. But you can see right there how the clop flat I was talking about earlier. Clop flat for some reason plays flat routes and table routes tremendously well. I don't know why, but we're going to go ahead, do it one more time. This is just to give you guys an idea of how you can attack this blitz. Again, it's all about recognizing where the blitz is coming from, where their safety is, etc., etc. Oftentimes, something serious would be on the same side safety as where bunch was, and most oftentimes bunch was ran to the left side. I don't know why, but that's what I always saw in the videos, at least within the Madden Bowl. And you might do something like this. So again, we're just looking to counteract it. So we're gonna go ahead, snap the ball. It's gonna be a little difficult to control, but bam, bam, easy 5 yards. This is gonna be how you're going to attack 5-2. So if you guys have been struggling attacking 5-2 and you keep thinking, oh, max protect, max protect, max protect, you guys are hurting yourselves by doing this, because by doing max protect, especially in a gun bunch, you're always sending 3 routes against 4 zones. It's going to be very easy for them to box you up and shut you down quick. So if this video did help you guys, be sure to drop a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. And let me emphasize this, especially in this video, be sure you guys get in a lab, practice this, get into a bunch of games. If you guys got friends that still play Madden, I don't know if people still play it. I don't very much. But if you do, be sure you guys have them run 5-2 against you a lot, especially if you're going to be playing a weekend league, house rules, seasons. 5-2 is a very, very popular play, especially after Madden Bowl was done, simply because everybody sees how much pressure you can generate, and everybody just thinks, oh, I can just send 20 at you, and you can't throw the ball. When in reality, in regular football, you're going to be throwing quick passes, slants, hitches, streaks even up the seam, drags, just anything kind of just a fast developing route that you can either high point pass or bullet. So that's going to take care of this video. And as always, until next time, get in the lab. This has been T Meister. See ya.